with Dan Weber, USCFootball.com instant analysis. Dan, Trojans came out on fire in the first half, ran up the score a little bit, and held on to win. What were your impressions of the game?
They were ready to play. It was obvious. You didn't know with just 7 or 8 practices in 20 days. It was really hard to guess. It looked like they were going to be ready. It looked like they were ready. They were ready. I mean, I thought what really set the tone, not only the offense, firepower that first half, but the defense really looked like they wanted to mix it up. They wanted to get after Derek Carr. They wanted to, at least hurry him. They wanted to hit the receivers after they caught the ball. They did all of that. And, basically, the story of the game to some extent is they held Fresno to, 300 yards under their normal offense. So that's a heck of a job by the USC defense.
Fresno State scored 20, but there was a pick 6 and an onside kick that they recovered inside the 30. Was it surprising that USC was able to do this to them, or how do you feel?
Well, I think it was impressive that, for example, Kevon Seymour stepped up and played like a big-time cornerback today. You have to get that kind of play against this team, and I think there was a big change in his demeanor and his mindset, and he realized, you can't sit back, you can't lay back on this team. You got to come out and really contest everything, which they did, and they did it well.
Talk about the defense a little bit. It seemed like Derek Carr was under more pressure than he has been all season.
Now, Leonard Williams said he thought he got to him early one time, a real knockdown where he saw, that Derek came up kind of, rubbing his shoulder, and he thought, he said, I wish I'd have gotten to him more, but it did look like he was throwing early on a lot of balls, especially the deep stuff. I think they were getting USC more athletic than anybody they've played, and USC played really hard, and it made it hard for, Derek Carr.
Let's talk about some of the awards afterwards. Abe Markowitz got an award. What was that all about?
How cool is that? Starting center, first time this year. He had started twice last year, but basically, put down to because of the scholarship limitations, lost his scholarship, so he's basically a walk-on paying his way to go for his 6th year. He's lost a couple of years to broken feet. What a storybook ending for Abe. I mean, and his dad and his family flew in from Hawaii for this game, and they're finding it hard to believe that it happened the way it did.
Cody Kessler was MVP. Where does this performance rank for his, performances throughout his career?
Oh, if you can stop at the first half and just say, you can't almost, play any better than that. He was scrambling. He was, making throws where he was, breaking away from people. He had a really nice scramble run. He was on target. He'll probably kill himself for, the one pick 6 and the ball he shouldn't have thrown, but showed an awful lot of accuracy. He is going through his reads. He's not throwing it right away. He's letting it, and that was the tough thing, I think, for Fresno, was for them to have defensive backs that could stay with Marquise Lee and Nelson Aguilar through an entire progression. Well, they couldn't.
Let's talk about the seniors and some of the coaches that might not be here next year. Were you hearing anything after the game about decisions on either side?
I mean, it certainly sounds like possibly something has been decided on Clay Helton. There are different reports. I would believe that possibly he's going to be staying here. I would think. I don't know that there's been any decision made on anybody else. One would think that this would make it, in a way, harder to go anywhere else. Than this coaching staff did an unbelievably good job. Why would you want to go hire somebody else when these guys are doing a heck of a job? I mean, how Clancy Pendergast, defensive coordinator, Tommy Robinson, just guys, you just couldn't ask for anything more than that. So, my dream would be kind of a blended coaching staff. If you want to bring in, the 4 or so guys from Washington, and combine them with 4 or 5 guys, holding over from this USC staff, I think that would be the best way to go.
Definitely some tough decisions coming up for Pat Haden, Steve Sarkisian. For Dan Weber, I'm Chris Swanson. This is USCFootball.com instant analysis. Log on to the website for everything USC football.